Hi everyone, Polly Mel, RN, Wise Woman Nurse, in my backyard with a little herbal wisdom for you. Today we're going to talk about comfrey. So this is the comfrey plant, and I'm just going to go right down to the ground. This is about 5 feet tall right now in my backyard, and you can see this whole long row down the front of my deck is all comfrey. It tends to get tall and knocked down. You can see I try to hold it up, get knocked down this time of year, and there's a second growth that comes. What I want to show you here is the beautiful flowers. These little bell-shaped flowers attract all kinds of bees and hummingbirds, and listening to them, sitting out here and having coffee in the morning and listening to the bees and the hummingbird just go nuts on these plants. Well, it's mesmerizing. Anyhow, I am going to give you more information on comfrey, how to use it. The common name, knit bone, that's just one of the common names. So I'll give you more information. So I'm just going to continue to talk about this wonderful plant, comfrey. So this is the comfrey down here, plant growing in my backyard, probably 10 days, 2 weeks after it's burst from the ground. And the flowers up here that I was showing you holding in my hands. Some great books that I use for herbal wisdom. You can't go wrong with Susan Weed, Rosemary Gladstar, James Green. This Complete Women's Herbal is a classic, may or may not be available, used on Amazon. British herbalist. Anyhow, just great books. So comfrey is known for its ability to heal tissues. What it does is it stimulates the cells. It's a cell proliferant, so it stimulates the cells to heal and reproduce more. And among other things, it is a very moistening plant, so it keeps things moist in the healing process. It's astringent. It's an expectorant for the respiratory system. It's very anti-inflammatory. It's a restorative and building, like a nutritive herb. So I always talk about stinging nettles as it's a nutritive herb that it adds nutrients to your body cells. We eat and we use natural medicine for the purpose of bringing nourishment to our body cells so that our body cells can then heal. So comfrey is one of those ones. When I make herbal infusion teas to drink on a daily basis, comfrey is one of the herbs I'll rotate in and out of the blend to just add that nourishment to my body. Comfrey is an herb that I used in both of my pregnancies in that infusion to drink on a daily basis. And yes, I did drink it every day during my pregnancy. Mixed with nettles, red raspberry leaf. I'm trying to think. Sometimes red clover. The comfrey was in that formula as an herb to support keeping my tissues nourished. So my bones, my organs, my muscles, the skin, but also to keep the developing child inside my uterus strong bones, for mineralization of strong bones and teeth and just body tissues. If you are going to use comfrey, and I recommend it, say you have a broken bone. So when I have clients with broken bones, I will suggest that they make a blend of tea, like I just spoke of, an infusion, and I'll put the link for how to make these infusions in this blog post. But I would suggest that they make a tea that includes comfrey so that they're putting the nutrients into their body to help that broken bone knit back together. And I would also recommend that they put it right over the broken bone. So if you've got a cast on, obviously you can't do that. But once the cast is taken off your body, you can put poultices and ointments of comfrey over that broken bone spot to further aid in remineralization and nourishment of that broken bone area. Can also be used on skin wounds and ulcers. So if it's a surface skin wound, surface ulcer that just involves the skin tissue, it's an easy application of a poultice that you cover or using an ointment. If it's a deep puncture wound, I always recommend that people wait and keep that deep puncture wound open at the top so that you keep reopening it when it tries to scab over so that the wound heals from the bottom up. Once it gets to the top and you've got a lot of that healing tissue that's happened, and so now you have more of a surface wound, then you can use the Comfrey. I wouldn't recommend the Comfrey at first just because it does help things heal so quickly, and you don't want it to heal quickly from the top. If it's a deep puncture wound, you want it to heal from the bottom up, and then go ahead and use the Comfrey. She's an amazing healing plant. You use the roots, you use the leaves, and I also use the flowers. I don't like to take the flowers, and I'll only take one or two here and there and eat them or throw them in a drink or something like that because they do attract the butterflies and the hummingbirds and the bees, and so I wouldn't want to go out and collect all the blossoms off the plants and take that away from the pollinators. But they're a wonderful thing. Like I'll make a morning, I call it my whole fruit juice, and throw a few strawberries or whatever berries in season in a good cup and a quarter of water. And then I'll add dandelion leaves and some cilantro and maybe a red clover flower. And I'll throw in a small, and I mean small, like the size of the end of my pinky, a comfrey leaf and a couple of comfrey flowers, and I'll throw that in the blender and blend it up, and I'll have this whole fruit and medicinal plant juice that I make. So that's where I would use the flowers. So you can use it for bone healing, for pregnancy and maintaining your healthy bones and teeth, for skin issues. It's also used for respiratory and digestive tract healing. So if there's ulcers in the digestive tract, you can use Comfrey internally as a tea, a tincture, and you can use it for respiratory ailments. So when you're using it, anytime you're using it for whatever the purpose is, for digestive tract, for respiratory tract, for skin, you would blend it with, for nutritive, the nutritive that I was talking about, mixing it with nettles, you would blend it with other herbs that are specific for that condition, that organ system in the body, that healing purpose. So where you would use Comfrey in different formulas is based upon what you're using it for and what organ system you are supporting in healing. It's a wonderful Comfrey ointment. It's a wonderful ointment for things like hemorrhoids, varicose veins. You can put it on strains and sprains and injuries to soft tissue like that, and just put a Comfrey ointment or a Comfrey poultice. When I say poultice, I mean you would take some of those leaves and you would macerate them up. You could literally put them in your mouth and chew them up, but Comfrey leaves are kind of prickly, so I wouldn't recommend that unless you're hardcore. But you mash them up so that they're very, very bruised and broken up, and you're letting the plant juices come out, and then you'd put that mashed up Comfrey leaves right onto the bruised area of the body, and then put like a bandage over it to hold it in place, and you could wrap an ace bandage around it, put coal, or put like some sort of hot moist cloth on it to bring heat to the area so that the medicine can do its work better. So you bring heat to the area, you bring circulation to the area, and then the medicine moves into the tissues more readily. So you can use it that way. The root you can use fresh, so you can dig the root and use it to make teas, to make ointments, to make tinctures. You can also dry the root so that you have the root to use over the course of the winter when you can't go out in your yard and dig Well, you can't here in northern New York. You can't go out and dig comfrey root in the middle of January. That would be a little difficult. Um, so that's just a little brief introduction to the beauty of comfrey. It's the beauty of it in your yard for the pollinators, as well as the beauty of it to be used within your body for healing purposes. And any questions around that, you can certainly reach out to me or any, trained herbalist that knows their plant medicine and how to work with it. Plants are amazing, healing, nourishing beings that we put into our bodies for that purpose of cell nourishment. I'm all about how do we nourish our body cells back to health. And it is through the food we eat and the plant-based medicine that we use. It's all about getting that nutrient, the nourishment out of the plants into the body cells. So, Polymel, RN, Wise Woman Nurse, and yes, I am an herbalist. Signing off. Have a great day. Thanks for being here.